defenseman Amberland Sejal Desai. To 12 points, including a game-winning goal against St. Michael's College last year on the road. From Woodbury, New York, forward, number 13, Hannah Russell. Has had a career year in her fourth year with the team, playing in 131 games and entering today with a program record 31 goals, tied for the program record with 116, owning the program record for most points at 52. This season, she's acquired a program record 17 goals together along with 86 and is tied for a single-season record in points with 25. A Newhouse Player of the Week and Newhouse January Player of the Month this season. From Argyle, Texas, forward, number 27, Julia Wise-Buckley. Has appeared in 102 consecutive games, en route to 136 total games in her career, a program record in which she has tallied 5 goals, 13 assists, and 18 points. On February 8th, she became the 5th player in program history to appear in 100 consecutive games and tied the single-season record for most games played in the single season with 37 last year and has appeared every game so far this season. From Whitby, Ontario, the defenseman, number 28, Casey Van appearing in 135 career games, which is the second most in program history, and tied for the most single-season games played with 37 games last year. This senior has scored a career-high 3 goals and 5 assists for a total of 8 points each for his career of 4 goals, 11 assists, and 15 points. Last weekend, the senior set the program record for the most single-game assists with 3 in the team's first-ever win over LIU. Who had the Defensive Player of the Week from Calgary, Alberta, defenseman
Good afternoon and welcome into the rinks at the Sports Center of Connecticut for the final game of the regular season, Senior Day, and the latest installment of the Merritt Parkway matchup. It's the post-university Eagles hosting their cross-county rivals, the Sacred Heart University Pioneers. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Joined alongside our production team of Kristen Brown, Jake Haddad, and Grace Glassard. My name is Max Stapleton, and we're thrilled to be taking you through today's action. It's the fourth and final time these two teams will meet in the regular season, with the Eagles currently holding a 2-1 series lead over the Pios. But last night's game in Fairfield saw Sacred Heart edge out a 2-1 victory. The game started off with fireworks as Sammy Bowlby and Noah Farberman both scored in the first 5 minutes of the game to make it 1-1 early. But after that, both defenses and netminders settled in, and it was the Pioneers' leading goal-getter of the season, Isabella Chappett, who put them up 2-1, where the final would remain. Despite last night's loss, the Eagles have looked up to par against the Pioneers, who are currently second in the Newha Conference. While Sacred Heart knows that they will host their first-round matchup in the conference tournament next weekend, Post knows that they will be on the road as they sit in seventh in the conference. There's still seeding up for grabs, and a lot can change as we have a full slate of Newha action today, but if everything were to stay the same, it would be this exact matchup 20 minutes down the road over in Fairfield. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that today's Senior Day here in Shelton, and a day to celebrate the women who have put many years of dedication into this program. It really is astonishing when you think about it. This has been a record-setting year in so many ways, both as a team, as a senior class, and as many different individuals for so many of these girls. So a huge congratulations goes out to Sejal Desai, Hannah Luckman, Julia Wysocki, Casey Vanden Udelar, and Angeline Pitter on celebrating their Senior Day today. Congratulations to them. So there's a lot on the line as we're moments away from puck drop here in Shelton. We've got lineups, goalie matchups, game previews, and of course the fourth installment of the Merritt Parkway matchup this season. It's all coming up next as you're watching Post University Women's Hockey.
Preparing initial and conduct shows other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches. First, the visiting Pioneers of Sacred Heart University. Starting at left wing, a graduate from Chillicothe, Minnesota, number 26, Paige McNeil. At center, a freshman from Moorhead, Minnesota, number 10, Ella Holmes. At right wing, a sophomore from Wixom, Michigan, number 28, Izzy Chapman. On the left defense, the graduate from South Windsor, Connecticut, number 7, Savannah Poppin. On the right defense, a junior from Minnetonka, Minnesota, number 6, Olivia LaRoche. And in the net for the Pioneers, a senior from Minnetonka, Minnesota, number 30, Carly Green. The Pioneers are coached by head coach Thomas O'Malley, assistant coach Allison Rocky, and assistant coach Cameron Peterson. And now the starting line for your Post University Eagles. Starting at the left wing, a senior from Woodbury, New York, number 13, Hannah Luckman. At center, a senior from Argyle, Texas, number 27, Julia Wysocki. On right defense, a senior from Gardner, Massachusetts, number 9, Sejal Desai. On left defense, a senior from Winnipeg, Ontario, number 28, Casey Vanden Udelar. And right wing, a senior from Calgary, Alberta, number that goes by Jesus Patrick, assistant coach Shelby Payne, hockey operations at At this time, we ask you to please stand and remove your caps to the play of our national anthem.
Welcome back into Shelton. We're just moments away from the fourth and final installment of the Merritt Parkway matchup between Sacred Heart University and Post University. Along with our entire production crew, Jake Haddad, Grace Glassrud, and Kristen Brown, I'm Max Stapleton, thrilled to be taking you through the action today. Let's get you those starting lineups for the home team. It's senior day today, so it's all the seniors in the starting lineup. Hannah Luckman's going to be your left winger, the senior from Woodbury, New York. Julia Wysocki, the leading point getter and goal getter in the conference, senior from Argyle, Texas. And how about at right wing today? It'll be Sajal Desai, typically a defenseman, and she'll play defense all game today, but she'll start at right wing for the first shift or so. Excuse me there for a second. It's Angeline Pitter and Casey Van Den Udelaar as your defense pairing. And Hannah Saunders will be your netminder, the junior from Ottawa, Ontario. What a season she is having. For the visitors, Paige McNeil on your left wing, Ella Holm at center, Izzy Chaput at right wing, Savannah Popick, your left defenseman, Olivia LaRoche, your right defenseman, and the goaltender will be Carly Green. Pretty rare to see a home-and-home series at 7 o'clock last night and then 1 p.m. today, where both the netminders remain the same, but that just speaks to the importance of this game today. Sacred Heart coming into this one at second in the Newha Conference this year. Overall, 17-13-3, 16-8-3 in conference play. For the home squad this year, Post University, it's 10-20-3. And meanwhile, in conference play, they start at 10-14-3. Well, I've stalled enough. We're just about ready for puck drop here. Refs are ready. Wysocki is ready. Holm is ready. And we're underway. Thank you for joining us for the final game of this regular season. It's a 2-1 series lead so far this year for Post University, although they've been outshot by quite a lot in each one of their games. That remained the case last night, where Sacred Heart was finally able to break through this year. 2-1 victory in yesterday's affair. Post dumps it in right away. As we well know, they start with a lot of energy in the first period. Again, that was really the case yesterday. 9 shots on goal in the first period last night for Post. Then they really slowed it down after that. Only 2 shots on goal in the second period, and then 5 in the third. Bringing it up the ice through neutral ice, it's Karis Kale. Just dumps it in. Jody Rose going to chase after it, but instead it's Peyton Bennett's for Sacred Heart, but she turns it over. Trying to get it out into the slot, but tied up there. I believe that was Jody Rose. Eagles retain possession in their offensive end of things. Eventually Sacred Heart does take it out. Grayson Limke with the puck. Getting harassed by Noah Farberman, the lone goal scorer in last night's game. A pretty funky goal if you were able to catch it over on ESPN Plus last night. Basically, Farberman, or a Sacred Heart defenseman, ran into the referee. It allowed Farberman to get on a 1-0 breakaway, and they scored, tying the game at 1-1. It's Peterson with the puck now, and she just sends it out of the defensive zone. Chasing after, it's Riley Patfield with a head of steam. Patfield gets tied up. A good defensive play. I believe that's Peyton Bennett's once again. Sauces it over to Allie Cohen, and she brings it up the near boards. Cohen tries to dump it in. It hit Pitter in the face. Good to see that Pitter's A-OK. Alyssa Antonakis gets bodied hard. It's Angeline Pitter again with the hard hit that time, and Post goes the other way with it. Both teams getting a feel for each other. There was already a goal at this point yesterday. The fireworks started very early in that affair. Not quite the case today. Sacred Heart in their away maroon jerseys with white lettering and silver trim, bringing it into their offensive zone. This is Cohen. Cohen sending it into the slot, but it misses the net. I believe that was a pass attempt, but now LaRoche has it on her stick. Gets tangled up with Sajal Desai, one of the seniors highlighted as the starting right winger today. She falls down on the ice, but is able to clear the zone and send it farther up. 17:35 left to go in this one. Sacred Heart trying to break out of their defensive zone. Almost a really good intercept by Rowan Ringer, but moving into the offensive zone are the Pioneers. Over at the far boards, a nice intercept by Julia Wysocki as Post tries to break out of their end. And Colt Bessinger just dumps it in for Sacred Heart, and now Post will try to break things out. Overall in the season, these are two very defensive teams. We're not expecting to see a whole lot of shots on goal. That was certainly the case in last night's game. Remember, in Game 1 of this season series, back in December 6th, it was a 46-save shutout for Hannah Saunders in net for the Eagles. So you know that both these teams are capable of getting a lot of them up there, but really has been a defensive matchup so far this season between the two familiar foes. All the way down the other side, that'll be an icing. 16:38 left to go in this first period. No real stats to talk about. The only stat on the board is the face-off win for Sacred Heart. So it's been a slow-moving game to start off. It gives us an opportunity to talk about our goaltender matchup for today. Hannah Saunders, the junior from Ottawa, in net for Post University on the season, a 2 goals against average and a .939 save percentage. Both of those are good bet for third best in the conference. And Carly Green is in net for Sacred Heart today. Last night made her able to qualify for the season statistics. She leads the conference as she makes a tough save there. Hard slap shot all the way from the blue line from Julia Wysocki. She leads the conference in both save percentage and goals against average. So it's two fantastic netminders today. We really don't expect to see a lot of goals. Sacred Heart dumping and chasing. Danny Amons collects for the Eagles and tries to clear the defensive zone. Does. Hannah Luckman chasing after it. Along the near boards and in their own defensive zone, Amons able to get it out. Sending it farther up the ice are the Eagles. They're going to get a couple of changes in. Savannah Popick to collect for Sacred Heart. Finds Cohen along the near boards. Now Sacred Heart looking to get out of their defensive end. Into the offensive zone they go. A long shot on net, forcing Hannah Saunders to make the save. It was Addie Bowlby who took that one. Now Alyssa Antonakis had it, but turned it over. Bad pass there. Found the stick of Jet Devlin, and Devlin sends it all the way up the ice. 15:25 left in this first period. Not much to talk about on either side. A good defensive battle. There's another turnover. Jody Rose took the puck away. It's always the sign of a couple of good defensive teams as well when you see a lot of interceptions on passes the way we are, especially at neutral ice. Neither side able to get set up whatsoever in their offensive zone so far. See if this can change. Sacred Heart moving into their offensive zone. It's Ella Holm, one of their leading point getters this year, second on the team. But she turns it over, and Brooke Larson has it. Larson to Karis Kale, and a long saucer pass, a good one, but not handled well by Riley Patfield. That was a pretty impressive play by Karis Kale, but Sacred Heart goes the other way with it. Offsides whistled. I'm going to say Anastasia Sloan, I should say, ruled down for offsides. 14:34 left to go. 3 shots total in the game for Sacred Heart, only one of them on goal, and the one total shot in this game for Post University was on goal. So both goaltenders still not really warmed up yet. Neutral zone faceoff goes the Eagles' way. Tristan Curry carries it into the offensive zone. She's going to fire one on net right into the chest of Carly Green. An easy second save of the night for her, and the faceoff will be in the post offensive zone. Green last night wasn't really tested a whole lot. Only had 15 shots on goal against her in the whole game. Was 14 of 15. Overall in the season, a tremendous year as we've talked about. .954 save percentage, one of the best in the country. Paio's getting a late change in here in their own defensive end. It's Tim-Marie Grom in the faceoff circle for the Eagles. And Sammy Bowlby ends up winning that one for the Pioneers. So rare, not great face-off day for Post University. Just speaks to Sacred Heart's face-off numbers this year. Speaking of last night's game, of course, good job by Angeline Pitter keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Even then, still allowing the Eagles to get possession and resetting things now in their defensive end. Tim-Marie Grom carries it in. 1 against 2, but getting some help trailing. Looking for Riley Patfield, but couldn't really find her. A good intercept from a couple of Pioneers. Now Savannah Popick has it. Wheels it around to the other side, and the Pioneers trying to battle against the heavy post forecheck. Finally do get it out of the zone, but they send it all the way up the ice. No icing's going to be whistled. They say Sage will decide, touched it up. 13:30 left in this first period. McCavicus sends it across the boards. Ringer plays it down. Now all the way in that near corner. Ringer against Popick. Wysocki has it. Getting harassed along these near boards, and a good defensive play allows Sacred Heart to take over. Allie Cohen, 2-on-2 forming. Cohen takes the shot. It's gloved down by Hannah Saunders. First good scoring chance of the game for either side. Both teams being kept to the boards. 13:08 to go. It's really been that third line forward group so far for Sacred Heart that has stood out to me. Bowlby, Antonakis, and Cohen. It's that group along the line right now. They took another shot, but it just went wide of the net. They collect the rebound along the near boards. Kaylee Smith with the slap shot deflected. Saunders stay with it. Puck is loose and it clears the crease. Boy, good heads-up play by Hannah Saunders to stay with the deflection. Into the offensive zone go the Eagles, more just to catch their breath than anything. A little bit of offensive pressure from the Pioneers. Brooke Larson to the other side. Karis Kale dumps it into the offensive end of things, and they're going to get to change it. Kaylee Smith collects. The Pioneers looks like they're just trying to set things up, but a good pressure there by Noah Farberman, almost forced the interception. Now Allie Cohen. Tried to leave it for Katie Keenan, and Keenan almost made a nice play, but it wasn't the best pass. Now post will come the other way. 12:11 left to go. Nicole Bessinger along the near boards, able to take that one away, and Keenan carries it forward into the offensive end. Keenan got hammered as she was about to try to deke somebody out, and the puck ended up going right in the crease of Hannah Saunders. Faceoff's going to come over to her right. Third line group out there for the Eagles. Jody Rose in the faceoff circle, but she loses the faceoff. Nice heads-up play by Nicole Bessinger to collect that one. Eagles do end up taking it over and clearing their zone. So if everything stays the same after this game today, it'll most likely be this exact matchup again in Fairfield next week in the first round of the Newhawk Conference Tournament. But hey, we still got a lot of game to go. Coming into the offensive zone is Macy Peterson. She was going one against the world there and couldn't do much with it. Eagles elect to go heavy on the forecheck instead, and they do force the turnover at center ice. VDO just dumps it in right on goal, and actually Carly Green's going to have to cover it up. Quick moving game so far. Not a whole lot of whistles, but not a whole lot of shots on either side. 3 shots on goal for Sacred Heart, 2 shots on goal for Post University. Face off to the left of Carly Green, and the Eagles do win it. VDO shoots it, deflects, bounces around. I believe Green had to get her pad on it. Boy, dangerous bouncing puck trickling towards the net. But the Eagles couldn't take advantage. Paio's clear the zone. It goes to Sage Desai. She sends it right back in. Whistle down for offsides. I'm going to say Timmery Grom was too far past the line. 10:57 to go. Both sides getting a platoon swap in. Overall this season, it's been a tremendous season for both of these teams considering the expectations. Post with 10 wins on the year. Sacred Heart, 17 wins, looking to make it 18 wins. Currently sitting at second in the Newha Conference. And with a win today, they'll lock up that second place seeding. Most likely play these Eagles next week. Mikavicus behind the opposing net, tries to send it into the slot, but the pass got blocked. Getting harassed by a couple of Pioneers, and they're in a battle for it. Wysocki's right there to help her as well. Puck is loose, and it ends up going the Pios' way, but not out of the defensive zone. Brooke Larson takes the slap shot. She scores! Brooke Larson breaks the ice. 1-0 Eagles. What a beautiful shot from Brooke Larson right at the blue line, slapping it away, and I don't know if Carly Green really ever saw it. For Larson, her first goal of the season, her fourth point. Highland Ranch, Colorado, stand up. It's 1-0 Eagles. See if the Eagles can capitalize on the momentum. They send it in. It'll be an icing. 10:17 left to go. Sometimes that can happen. You can lull goalies to sleep sometimes. Not a lot of offensive chances on either side. And Brooke Larson doing the really smart thing, just hammering it away right from the blue line. And again, might have been a screen in front of Carly Green. Don't know if she ever saw it. It didn't look like she got a good read on it. It's also a beautiful shot. First career goal for Brooke Larson. In front of a packed house here today in Shelton as well. By far the biggest crowd I've seen this year. Into the offensive zone, trying to go heavy again into that forecheck go the Eagles, but it's Alyssa Antonakis with it. Sends it all the way up the ice where Danny Amons will collect. Bad turnover into the offensive zone. Go the Pios, driving in, and a good shot on goal there for Sammy Bowlby, but it just missed. Paige McNeil sends it back behind the net. Actually, that's Ella Holm who added another rebound chance, and it's hit right into the chest of Saunders. Boy, what a positioning save there. Beautiful play from Hannah Saunders to keep it at 1-0. 9:21 left to go in this first period. Faceoff will come to the left of her. Eagles win it, try to clear their defensive zone, and they do so. End up getting it right at the blue line, and a good play. Fartman has it on her stick, trying to send it for Peterson, but bouncing puck, and Peterson couldn't handle it. Back behind the net they go. Not a great pass there. They turn it over, and out come the Pios. Paige McNeil has it. Now to Anastasia Sloan. Sauces it all the way up the ice. Kaylee Smith couldn't handle it cleanly. Actually, that's Izzy Chaput, the leading point getter and goal scorer for Sacred Heart this year. More than halfway gone through this first period. 1-0 Eagles thanks to the first career goal from Brooke Larson. Get the official scoring on that as we come back in. Not able to clear the zone are the Eagles. A nice play by Savannah Popick to keep it in, but the Eagles do eventually get it out of there. Sacred Heart trying to set up some type of offensive possession, but just really have found themselves unable to do so. Popick does have it back in the offensive zone, driving towards the net into the slot. Beautiful pass, beautiful save, Saunders. Once again, a great positioning. Just play from Hannah Saunders. Went right into her pad. She kicked it out beautifully. Seen a little motivation from Sacred Heart University after the 1-0 goal. Eagles send it into their offensive zone, trying to force a little turnover on the forecheck, tie up along the far boards. It's Tristan Curry in there, but it ends up going Sacred Heart's way. Savannah Popick now to the other side. Along the far end, Grayson Limke. Nice play defensively. That's Selena Mikavicus, who, by the way, will end the season this year, barring some really unfortunate just disaster, with the all-time best plus-minus in post-university history. Right now, she's top 10 in the league with +9. Back at neutral ice, Katie Keenan sends it into the offensive end. Chasing after it, Nicole Bessinger. Bessinger looked like she was trying to send that one into the slot, but it got deflected by Larson, and the Eagles are able to clear it out. Anastasia Sloan, it's once again Sacred Heart just really able to send it right back into the offensive end for most of this game, but there's some good possession as Bessinger just misses the net. That one fired high and wide over the head of Hannah Saunders with less than 7 minutes to go. Boy, it's also been a long time since we've had any type of whistle. Last one I remember, well, as I say that, that's the broadcaster's jinx at its finest. And that should take us to the media timeout. If we all remember on the ice. And they will. Media timeout. 6:45 to go left in this first period. It's 1-0 Eagles thanks to the first career goal from Brooke Larson. .6:45 left to go in the first period. 1-0 Eagles in the fourth installment of the Merritt Parkway matchup this year. Face-off winning right into the stands it goes. Or actually, heads up into the post-university bench it went. So we'll have another face-off at neutral ice. Thanks for joining us. It's been a fun matchup this year, especially for the Eagles, who currently hold this season series lead at 2-1. They've been outshot in pretty much all of their games so far, but they're winning this one 1-0 once again, and a lot of credit belongs to Hannah Saunders in net, who so far today has stood on her head once again to help keep the Eagles in the lead. Into the offensive zone they go, and it really has been the pressure on the forecheck that's allowed the Eagles to get all of their offensive possessions today. See if they can do it again as Allie Cohen tries to bring it out. Past the red line and into the offensive zone. A little dump and chase action for Sacred Heart. Amons picks it up in her own defensive corner, but gets tied up. It's Alyssa Antonakis and Addie Bowlby, a couple of sets of sisters on this Sacred Heart team. Hannah Luckman carries it. And now one against the world for Hannah Luckman. A bit of a sloppy change there for Post University. Not the worst in the world as they're in their offensive zone, but Hannah Luckman not getting a whole lot of help. Able to keep it in the offensive zone. We'll see for how long, and that's it. Oh, a hammer right at the neutral zone there. No hand goes up. Now the whistle goes up for offsides, though. It looked like Casey Von Den Udelar got just blown up at neutral ice. Good to see she's on her feet. And hey, there is an interference rule. There is a body checking rule. But it's kind of up to the referee's discretion on when it gets called. And if that's any kind of statement today, it'll be a physical game. Good play by Macy Peterson, just tipping that one forward, forcing Carly Green to cover it up. Pretty packed house today at the rinks in Shelton. I'd say, close to 90% capacity? By far the biggest game of the year and the final regular season game of the season. Of course, a big shout-out belongs to the seniors on both sides, but especially for the Eagles as we are on home ice today. It was senior day last night over in Fairfield. As they carry it into their offensive zone, 2 against 3 forming, and they set up possession. At the blue line, it was Olivia LaRoche who just sends it in deeper. Over at the far corner, Jody Rose, but the hand goes up, and that'll be a boarding penalty in the near corner. First power play of the game will belong to Sacred Heart with 5:08 left to go, and it's Sejal Desai heading off to the box. Cross-checking penalty, I think, is the official call there on Sajal Desai, but that could have gone either way, boarding, cross-checking, or interference. Not a bad call by any means. So first power play opportunity for either side. We'll give you the special teams numbers in just a quick moment. Penalty kill has been pretty good this year for Post. Whistle is blown off the face-off. So we'll have to redo it from the start of it all. Not sure what happened there. Power play-wise, the sixth best power play of the year in the conference for Sacred Heart at 10.9%. Penalty kill-wise, Post is at 84.9% this year, which is third best in the new hub. I think we're having a little bit of a scoreboard issue here at the rinks. Penalties are showing up for both sides, but it is a power play for the Eagles. Against the Eagles for Sacred Heart. We're sending out their first unit. It's Kate Helgeson. She gets hammered into the boards on that play. No hand gets raised, and Eagles are able to clear right away down the ice. First unit out there for Sacred Heart. Helgeson, Limke. Sammy Bolby is in there as well. Kaylee Smith. And now carrying it up the ice, I believe that's Peyton Bennett's. Back to Smith and Limke now. Right at the red line, and this is what Post does very well when they're on the penalty kill. They don't allow teams to even get set up in the offensive zone, try to prevent the opportunity before it even happens. Bennett's at neutral ice, just going to send it all the way back, and that's kind of a pseudo clearance for Post there. 1:20 left in this power play for Sacred Heart. Kate Helgeson into the offensive zone she goes, but has it poke checked away. Good play by Macy Peterson there. She couldn't clear. Stays in the offensive zone, and now it clears out of there, and Pioneers will have to touch up. Smith just content to dump it into that far corner, and they'll get a change in there. Be a pretty free clearance here, but not a good pass, and a turnover. Bennett's able to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Amons looking for somewhere to go with it, doesn't have anywhere, and turns it over once again. Boy, two kind of bad turnovers in her own defensive zone for Danny Amons. So there's 45 seconds left. Bennett tried to send it. Good interception there from Amons as she makes up for it. Carries it out. Sends it to the far side. McCavic is chasing after it. Now Sacred Heart with an opportunity for one or two more pushes if they need it. 30 seconds left with the man advantage. Into the far corner it goes. Paige McNeil, second unit out there for the Pioneers. Hard battle for it behind the net of Hannah Saunders. McNeil to the blue line. One-time LaRoche gloved down by Saunders. Beautiful save. Hannah Saunders in a great play set up by Sacred Heart as Olivia LaRoche was firing away from the blue line. Face off to the left of Hannah Saunders. 3:18 left in this period. And the clock's ticking down on the first power play of the game. Long wrist shot, but it misses the net, goes wide. That one was off the stick, and we're back to even strength. 0 for 1 on the power play, our Sacred Heart. That's a pretty common theme nowadays for the Pioneers. Check my numbers, but I believe that makes them 0 for their last 16 with a woman advantage. Back to the blue line it goes. Now the Eagles trying to set up some offense. A shot on goal saved by Carly Green. Kicked into the corner. Eagles still have possession for it. And the hand goes up all the way from back at the red line. Looks like somebody got hurt, I believe, actually. Behind the net of Carly Green. Looking to see who it is. I believe it's Olivia LaRoche back there. And we're going to have another power play. Back-to-back penalties on the Eagles. This time it's on Tristan Curry. Boy, you don't want to keep allowing this if you're Pat Bingham and crew. You do have a good penalty kill, and the power play is not super lethal for Sacred Heart this year, but at the same time, it's always a good advantage and maybe more momentum going the Pioneers' way. Crucial face-off win for Sacred Heart. Bennett's at the blue line. She fires away. Good save there. Saunders deflects it into the corner. Almost cleared. Nicely kept in by Sacred Heart. With the puck, it's Kaylee Smith. Smith with a lot of speed, circling around the net. The wraparound try, but it didn't hit the net. Sajal Desai got her stick in front of that one. Back to Smith. To the near side, Limke tries it, misses the net. Bounces around the boards, and it does clear the defensive zone, but not for very long. Bennett back into the offensive zone it goes, as Limke keeps it in. Along these near boards, Grayson Limke getting past Sagel the side, but getting tied up with Casey Van Den Udelaar. And we have another whistle here as we're going to have a hand pass called. 2:01 left to go in this first period. It's a pretty crucial hand pass. It's going to allow for a change for Post University and for the faceoff to become at neutral ice. Minute 17 left on the penalty, assessed to Tristan Curry. Faceoff goes all the way back into the defensive zone of the Pioneers. Eagles will reset. Pios getting set up. It's Ella Holm with the puck. Getting past one defenseman, now carrying it into the offensive zone. Tries to find Chaput, but leaves it just a bit too long. Battle for it along the near boards. And Sydney Antonakis ends up with possession, but gives it right to Riley Makavakis, and she clears the zone. Good play by Selena Makavakis, finding the empty ice and just firing away. Now she's following her own clearance and almost forcing a turnover in the offensive zone, shorthanded. See if Sacred Heart can take advantage, though, as they enter past the blue line. Izzy Chaput makes a woman miss. No, she doesn't care as Kale stays with her strongly. Puck is loose. Antonakis picks it up. Back to the blue line it goes. Anastasia Sloan fires, and it hits the face, I believe, of Makavakis as she gets the block shot. 10 seconds left on the power play. Sloan firing away. Saved by Saunders. Boy, Saunders had to fight through a bunch of screens there. Not quite out yet, but we're almost back, and we're back to even strength. Sloan firing once again. Easy save that time. Into the netting it goes, and a stoppage with 39.9 left to go in this first period. Boy, for a game that started off really slow, it's been all a ton of action here in the last 5 minutes or so, and the Eagles just clinging on to that 1-0 lead. Face off to the right of Hannah Saunders, and the Eagles win it. Pretty crucial win. Back to even strength for basically the first time in 4 minutes. See if they can set something up, try to close the period on a high note here. Riley Patfield driving towards the net. She fires it, and I believe Carly Green had to make the save there. Tough angled shot for Patfield there, but still good to get one on goal. She has it on her stick and leaves it into the near corner. Back to Patfield, and she tried to find somebody in the slot, but no one was there. Oh, a good play here, and a 3-on-1 forming for Sacred Heart coming up the ice, and that's offsides. Boy, a crucial mistake by Addie Bowlby. It was an easy 3-on-1 forming, and she just fired that one offsides. 13.2 left to go in this first period. Those are the type of mistakes you absolutely don't want to have. Better to have them now than next week, I suppose, if you're Thomas O'Malley and crew. But even then, down 1-0 in this game, that looked like it could have easily been 1-1. Ringer into the offensive zone. One last possible push for either side here. Wysocki just sends it in deep. And that's going to do it here in the first period. A good first period overall for Post University as they carry a 1-0 lead into the intermission. Overall, the statistics do lean Sacred Heart's way, the visitors, with 9 shots on goal as compared to the home team's 5. 20 shots total for Sacred Heart. That's 8 shots total for Post University. Face-offs, it's a really close battle. 11-10 Post edging out the Pioneers there. And then, of course, penalties-wise, 0 for 2 on the power play is Sacred Heart. The lone goal of the period belongs to Brooke Larson, her first of the season. Sophomore from Highland Ranch, Colorado. The assists belong to Karis Kale and Selena Makavakis. Makavakis, by the way, just ups that plus-minus to another record-setting number, plus 10 now on the season. But either way, it's a 1-0 game heading into the first intermission. Don't go anywhere as you're watching Post University Women's Hockey.
We're here with our 2025 Men's Lacrosse Media Day, starting things off with Hunter McCarty and Tom Pouliot, 2 of the newcomers to this team. Guys, talk about what brought you to Post University and what made you decide to come here.
Yeah, so I played against Coach at his old school, and when I was looking for grad transferring programs, I reached out to him, had a great connection with him and a great conversation, and that's what led me here.
I just put myself in the transfer portal my senior year. I was coming off an ACL, MCL, meniscus, PCL tear. So I didn't play for about a year and a half, and I just wanted an opportunity to play another year. And Coach Ian was one of the coaches that reached out off the bat, and I felt as though I talked to some of the guys on teams like James Sproul, and it felt really comfortable and a confident place to come here.
And then what are both your goals heading into the season, both personally and team-wise?
Yeah, so personally and teams, kind of the same thing for me, just to have fun this year, win a couple games that we didn't think we could before, and just have fun with all the guys.
I agree with Hunter. I think having fun for my last year lacrosse is definitely very important. As a team, I want to bring home a CAC championship for the guys, and most importantly, just continue to make memories for this last year here.
What do you guys think will be a big key for this team to be successful this year, especially with a lot of newcomers?
With a majority of us being new to the team, I think the team chemistry, just bonding outside the field and on the field, is a really important thing for us to do, and we've made a lot of groundwork doing that so far this year.
I think mostly just knowing that working hard pays off, and we just have to make sure we collaborate and ask questions when need to be asked, and most importantly, just have fun and work with each other outside and on and off the field.
And I know, Tom, you kind of already mentioned it, but what do you guys think, seeing what this team has done so far through the fall and now early parts of the spring? It's coming out tomorrow when we're recording this the day before, but you guys were picked to finish 5th in the preseason poll. But what do you think this team can achieve this season?
I think from just hearing from all the guys, the returners of this team, I think you can't count us out of the CAC this year. I think we have a really good opportunity to take some games from people and really make some noise in our conference and maybe even make it to the national tournament.
We're here with sophomore defender Nick Gallery. Nick, last year you saw limited playing time during the 2024 year as a freshman. Number of upperclassmen, though, on this team. With so many newcomers this spring and only 10 returners, what do you think will be your role on this team?
I think I just have to show them that upperclassman vibe. I have to be there for them and help them get through whatever they got to do and bring back the experience from last year and bring it back this year.
And then there's often a lot of talks about the offensive side of the ball when it comes to lacrosse. When you look at the stats, you're looking at the goals, the assists, the points that guys score in a game. Talk about what goes into the defensive side of the game of lacrosse.
I mean, we got to go out there. We got to guard such fast kids that could really shoot the ball, pass the ball, and we just got to be faster and smarter than they are and stay ahead of them.
And then what are your personal goals this season, especially with a young team on the defensive side?
I don't have many personal goals. I just want to win a ring. I want to get a championship and help the guys below me get one before they get out.
And then finally, what do you think this team can achieve this season? Picked 5th to finish in the preseason poll so far this year, but what do you think they can achieve?
I think it's just a number. I think that being young, we're very unpredictable, and not too many teams know what we're about, and we're ready, and we're coming.
Right, we're here with senior James Sproul. James, this is your senior year, and you're one of the only 2 long-stick midfielders. How do you continue to elevate your play this season while mentoring Gavin Lee, the incoming freshman on this team who plays the same position as you?
Firstly, I mean, just sticking with what I do best, just practicing everything that I'm skilled at and taking even more time to get down the stuff that I need to work on. Just really elevates my game. And for Gavin, just mentoring him, showing him what I did to succeed in my previous years, and just trying to help him out in any way possible, giving him that experience that I've grown up having, and just trying to make him the best player possible.
Talk a little bit about the defensive side of your game and what goes into it a little bit, seeing you appeared on the single-game record for most caused turnovers 3 times last year, and you set the record against Bridgeport with 6.
Yeah, it all starts in practice. I mean, just dialing in on the stuff that I'm good at. Ground balls and caused turnovers are obviously something that I've excelled in. So just keeping up with that, getting as much practice as I can personally with those stat lines, and just on the defensive side, just the communication, body positioning, it just really takes me all the way.
And then last season, you set the single-season record in both ground balls and caused turnovers, 112 ground balls, 39 caused turnovers. You're 11 away from the ground ball record and 4 away from the caused turnover record for all time in post history. Talk to me about what it means to you to be part of such an elite group among the program's best.
I mean, it's something really special. I mean, I'm glad to say that I could be part of this history, and I just want to break those records this year and see how high I can get them. Just proving that Post University is a place that we can excel in lacrosse and be seen around the NCAA.
And then lastly, what do you think this team can achieve this season?
I think we shouldn't be counted out. I know we're a young team, but I honestly think that we have the chance, if we come to play, that we can compete with everyone in the conference. So I think counting us out of the CAC championship is definitely not possible, and I think we actually have a chance this year.
Finishing off our men's lacrosse media day with senior Robbie McGrain. Robbie, last season you set the single game record for goals with 10. The season record for goals was 61. You had the second most single season points of 77 behind your teammate All-American Tim Keefe, who had 88. And you're 12 goals away from the all-time record, plus 41 points away from the point record. And you're nearly the second player ever to reach 200 points. What do you attribute all your success to last season?
Just the guys around me, knowing them and bonding with them off the field really helped. And in practice, just looking for me on the crease because that's the position I play. They were able to find me open, and even if I wasn't open, they were able to find my stick, and I was able to find the back of the net. And yeah, like I said before, just the bond with those guys and the bond that we had, we couldn't break it. So that's what attributed to the success.
How do you continue to elevate your game from what you did last year as one of the 3 returning attackers and being a leader as one of the captains on this team?
I would say in practice, just work on obviously the team stuff and what we need to get done. But for me individually, in tight spaces, faking out the goalie, always trying to get open. That's my job. So when I'm doing individual stuff at practice, that's what I focus on, and that's what has attributed my success in the past, and I'm sure it'll do the same thing in the future.
And talk a little bit about what it was like to play for head coach Pat Iannarelli in your first year and how you've seen him grow and evolve as a coach from year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, it was awesome to play for him. And when he first came in, obviously he was a little timid coming in halfway through the season with a brand new team, brand new bunch of guys that he doesn't know. And I thought he did a really good job adapting to how we do things, but also putting in things that he liked to do at his old school. I thought that was good, and he's been louder and louder with us throughout last season, and he hasn't taken a step back with us so far this season. So in that sense, I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, and then what do you think lastly this team can achieve this season? You know, you guys made it to the semifinals last year. You're picked 5th in the preseason poll this year, but what do you think this team can achieve?
I think we can achieve whatever we put our mind to. We've been ranked a lot lower than that in the past and still made the playoffs, so that just goes to show you that once a good group of guys puts their head together, we can achieve whatever we want to. And I think we can go for the championship this year. Even though we lost a lot of guys, we plugged a lot of guys in who have similar skill sets, and some have better skill sets. So in that sense, I think we can have a good shot at running for the CACC.
Post-men's lacrosse season gets underway in a couple of weeks from now at home at Lemoy Field. A few Sundays against D'Youville University at noon for their first game of the 2025 campaign.
Here with senior quarterback Tyler Pumachan on the Post University football team. Tyler, you transferred in from UConn for the 2023 season. How was the transition to a new team, and what made you choose Post?
The transition was great. You know, coach, everyone out here made me feel comfortable. That's another reason I came here. I felt comfortable. Everybody just made me feel like a family and feel like I was wanted here. So that was ultimately my decision.
Now, your brother Tyson is the quarterback now at UMass, having played for both Clemson and Georgia Tech. What was it like growing up with another high-level quarterback?
It was great, you know. Having him, he was always someone that I kind of looked up to. Being able to watch him, his growth, and the things he done, just monkey see, monkey do, you know what I'm saying? So it's just everything that he does, repeat, get reps, same thing over and over. So it was just great having another guy like that around that I could just watch and learn from.
Another thing from before your time at Post, you also had the opportunity to reunite with high school teammate Josh Tracy when you got here. How special has it been to continue playing football with him at the next level?
It's been amazing. That's something that I didn't really think we'd get a chance to do coming out of high school, but we've had the opportunity at UConn in here. But actually being on the field, him been a lot different. It's been amazing. He became such a more complete player, and just playing with him, we clicked back like we never left. So it's just great to have him.
In case you missed it, as number 12 gets out and runs in for a touchdown. That's Tyler Pumachan.
In this year's opener against West Virginia Wesleyan, you threw for 104 yards with another 24 rushing yards, including a passing and rushing touchdown. How much confidence did that first home win give you and the rest of the guys on the team?
It gave us a bunch of confidence, coming in. I know a lot of teams weren't expecting much out of us, but all the guys rallied together. We put a lot of work in over the summer, did what we had to do, took care of business over during that game, and we were really detail-oriented. We did what we had to do, not many penalties, you know what I'm saying? So we just did what we had to do that day.
No safety help, but Johnson backs up. Tracy could just turn around and have 15 yards right there. Famicon throws it deep in the corner. He's got somebody. It's caught. What a catch by White. It's a touchdown.
And having been involved in that huge 17-point win at home, Post, at this point in the season, has also been a part of 3 games that were decided by 4 points or less. How has this team been able to bridge the gap from last year when you guys were not involved in as many close games?
Yeah, like I said before, I think our attention to detail is much better. A lot of guys know what they're doing, So we're in the film room, we're studying. So a lot of guys are smarter. We're developing, and we're just able to. We're real close, but we just need to finish out the games and close them out.
Has there been anything off the field that you guys have changed, or has it just been spending more time together in general?
Yeah, I would say that, and like I said, getting on the board in the film room, learning the plays, learning everything, like getting real smart with the game. So I'll say that.
All right, Tyler, thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.
Welcome back into the rinks here at the Sports Center of Connecticut. Just about a minute away from the second period in the fourth installment of this year's Merritt Parkway matchup between the Post University Eagles and the Sacred Heart University Pioneers. It's the Eagles with a 1-0 lead heading into this second period. Brooke Larson's first career goal made it 1-0 in favor of the good guys about halfway through the period. The assist coming from Selena Mikavakis and Karis Kale. By the way, as I mentioned towards the end of that first period, Selena Mikavakis plus 10 now on the season. That's a program record by a long shot. In fact, while we're highlighting the seniors today, it's important to say that it's been a record-setting year for the entire team. There will be 6 players on this Post University who will carry the best plus-minus in program history after today's game. It's a crazy feat for them when you think about it. One of the best years in program history, and it's not over yet. Final game of the regular season today. We got our first round of the Newha Conference next weekend. Most likely, it'll be between these two teams, but of course, there's a full slate of games across the Newha today that we'll check in on as we go along. Looks like everyone's just about ready. It's Wysocki and Ella Holm in the face-off circle. Maybe once again, we're having a bit of a scoreboard malfunction here. And we're all set. Holm and Wysocki, the face-up goes all the way to the far boards, and we're underway for the second period. Thanks once again for joining us. Max Stapleton joined alongside our production crew, Grace Glassrood, Kristen Brown, Jake Haddad, and everyone else here at Post University. We're so glad you could make it. Into the defensive zone for the Eagles. Post going right to left this period, Sacred Heart left to right. And it's the Eagles at neutral ice. Selena Mikavicus just sends it in, immediately dumped back out by Sacred Heart. This was a lot of the beginning of the first period as well. Kind of no real sustained offensive possession for either side. Right there, goes straight to Hannah Saunders. And now Post will try to break out of their defensive zone. In the last couple minutes of the first period, though, however, it was a lot of offense between the two sides. 2 power plays for Sacred Heart definitely helped that case as well, but they were 0 for 2 there. Ooh, dangerous play there. Puck got fired into her own bench. Looked like off the stick of Rowan Ringer. We have our first whistle of this period. 19:03 left to go in this first. In the second, I should say. Taking a look at the first period stats, that's what I was doing. It was 9 shots on goal as compared to 5 in favor of the visitors, Sacred Heart, over in that period. The only stat where Post really had an advantage was the 11-10 faceoff wins. Now in their own defensive zone, a tough angled shot hit the back of the net for Sacred Heart. Danny Amons picks it up in her own zone, but couldn't quite clear it out. Kate Helgeson looked like she was going to get set up well, but couldn't sustain the puck. Eagles, once again, not able to get it past the blue line. Actually, referee said they did, so Sacred Heart had to touch up. Along the near boards it goes, and all the way up the ice for an icing. 18:32 left to go. It's going to be Alyssa Antonakis in the faceoff circle for Sacred Heart. Looks like Jody Rose is in there for the Eagles to the right of Hannah Saunders. Draw goes into the far boards, and the Eagles end up winning it. Trying to break out through neutral ice goes Jody Rose. Gets tied up with Anastasia Sloan, and behind the net it goes. Rose collects in the far corner. A hard hit into the boards. No hand gets raised. Fans calling for it, and a dangerous play there. Eagles do touch up on sides, and now they do have possession. Good pass there. Rose into the slot, and the shot just missed the netting. 18:05 left to go. Nice keep-in from Post University. Anastasia Sloan has trouble playing it as the Pios decide to slow it down. In yesterday's game, it was a bit of a turning point in the second period. Shots were pretty even in the first, and then it was 20-2 in favor of Sacred Heart yesterday's game. So the Eagles today really looking to keep up the energy throughout the game. It was in the second period that Izzy Chapa put Sacred Heart ahead 2-1, and that would ultimately be the final score of last night's affair. The Eagles barely able to clear the zone, goes all the way down the ice. No icing's going to be called. See if Sacred Heart can set things up. Katie Keenan dances around a couple of defenders, but not around Maddie Noonan. Now a battle for it along the near boards, and the Eagles content just to send it in deep into their offensive zone. A couple of troops get off for a change. Smacked down by Sajal Desai, and they're going to whistle that down for offside. 17:07 left to go. No stats to talk about yet in the second period. 3 minutes in, or almost 3 minutes in, and neither side has had any shots or any shots on goal. Immediate face-off into the netting, so we'll do it again. Face-off coming to the left of Hannah Saunders. Take you around the Newhawk Conference in just a bit, give you all the scores and updates there. Once again, if everything were to stay the same, it would most likely be this matchup next weekend, but with an Eagles victory today, that would likely change a few things, so we'll take a look shortly. Sajal Desai in this near corner gets tied up hard. Eagles just trying to clear their own defensive zone, but Pios doing a good job of keeping the puck on that end of the ice. Finally able to get it out of there, and now Hannah Luckman has it on her stick. Luckman looking towards the net. She fires away and blocked down by Carly Green. Stays in the offensive zone where Olivia LaRoche picks it up for Sacred Heart. LaRoche looked like she was having some trouble with her skate there. Now Danny Amons fires, but the shot gets blocked before it reaches. Nicole Bessinger breaks out, and now a 2-on-2 forming. Keenan into the offensive zone. She fires, but a nice play there. Sajal Desai gets her body in front of it. Desai took an early penalty in this one, but no harm came of it. Couldn't quite clear the zone that time. Nice interception by Sydney Antonakis. Sydney and Alyssa Antonakis, two of the sisters on this team. There's also Ella and Bria Holm. That goes all the way down the ice, but it's actually going to be whistled not an icing. Good play that time. I believe it was Hannah Luckman who erased that with her speed. Puck trickles behind the net and around the boards it goes. Antonakis tries to play it out. She does. Danny Amons, almost a scary turnover there. Now Sacred Heart into their offensive zone. Holm tries to fire away. Nice play by Larson to get her body in front of it. Slides it around the boards and right at the blue line. Peyton Bennett's shot didn't quite reach the net. Eagle got their stick there, and now here they come. Rowan Ringer into the offensive zone, but she got handled nicely. Good defensive play that time. Sammy Bowlby took it away, and Sacred Heart will retain possession. All the way down the ice it goes. Not going to be ruled an icing. They say it was last touched by an Eagle. 15-11, just about 5 minutes gone in this middle period of play. Not a whole lot of offense to talk about, but here could be some. Noah Farberman takes it in, shoots that one, and it's headed aside by Carly Green. Kept in by Brooke Larson right at the near boards. Larson, who already has one today, fakes the shot, tries to deflect it in. A beautiful setup there by Larson and Jody Rose, but a heads-up save from Carly Green. Boy, the fake slap shot to pass right into the slot. That one played to perfection. See if the Eagles can carry the momentum. Jody Rose into the offensive zone, but the penalty goes up, and they're going to call an interference penalty on Riley Patfield. Boy, an unnecessary penalty taken there by Patfield. Looked like Rose had a head of steam going into the offensive zone, but it'll be the third power play of the game for Sacred Heart. Through their 2 power play attempts so far in that first period, they got 3 shots on goal, did the Pioneers, entering with the 6th best power play in the conference. Post with the 3rd best penalty kill. We've really seen that penalty kill excel in moments like these, especially when Post is playing with a lead, but at the same time, this is when power plays are the most dangerous. Antonakis gets thrown out of the face-off circle, so Allie Cohen will replace her, and Cohen wins it. Right at the blue line. Brianna Morden, one of the first times we're saying her name tonight, sends it into the near corner for Allie Cohen, and Cohen ties up an Eagle defenseman. Battle for right in that near corner, but the puck really isn't moving whatsoever. And finally, it does get out of there towards Sacred Heart, but a heavy physical battle for it. Its bodies go flying everywhere, and the Pios retain possession. Back out towards the blue line. Shot on goal for Campbell Hager, and Hannah Saunders had to make the save. Boy, quick wrist shot there from Hager at the blue line, and surprisingly got through to Saunders. Back at the near boards here. No one really able to retain possession. Rowan Ringer fighting hard for it, and she does come away with it. Finds her teammate Wysocki. Wysocki carries it through and content to just clear it all the way down the ice. Allows some time to tick off here on the Sacred Heart power play. Pioneers quick to bring it back in. It's Addie Bowlby. Leaves it for Cohen. Cohen right at the blue line. Pass almost gets intercepted, but the Pios retain. Over at that left wing, taking the shot is Poppick. I believe Saunders had to get her helmet on top of it. Eagles able to clear the zone. A nice clearance there. It goes all the way down the ice. That'll allow Post to get their 2nd unit penalty kill out there. 40 seconds left to go on the penalty assessed to Riley Patfield, an interference penalty. 3rd power play of the game, 1-0 Eagles. Ella Holm into the offensive zone. She sends it across into the slot, but no one there to take the shot. Chaput leaves it down low. Another pass into the slot once again. Not a single Pioneer there, and a good clearance as some more time takes it away. Maybe one last push for the Pioneers available. If you mishandle the puck, Olivia LaRoche to Izzy Chaput. Chaput gets handled at middle ice by McCavicus, and Macy Peterson takes over. Back down the ice it goes, and that should do it on the power play. Puts Sacred Heart at 0 for 3 with a woman advantage in this game as we're back to even strength. And into the offensive zone, but whistled down for offsides was Riley Patfield. Almost a really dangerous play coming out of the penalty box. It's when you can get a lot of teams shorthanded or in a breakaway, but to no avail there. 12:24 left to go in this second period. In the period, it's a total of 6 shots for both sides, but no shots on goal for Sacred Heart, and 3 of which were for the Eagles. Larson behind her own net, looking to find a way to break out, but Sacred Heart with 4 defenders in the offensive zone. Tim Marie Grom along the far boards, sends it back into the offensive end of things. Gets handled nicely. Kate Helgeson clears the puck back down the ice. The Helgeson family comes a bit from Wisconsin royalty, if I say so. Former Badger myself. Her dad won a national championship with the Badgers back in 1990. Her sister played with the Badgers through the 4 years I was there. So just a little nice note there. Now Kate Helgeson, the former Quinnipiac transfer, having a really nice season here at Sacred Heart. Kaylee Smith takes over at center ice. Not able to really get anything going in the offensive zone are the Pioneers. Now battle for it right at the blue line. Good change spot there for the Eagles. Karen O'Connell just sends it in. First time we've said her name tonight. Once again, we're kind of back to this little back and forth play where neither team is able to get set up past the neutral zone. It's the sign of 2 really good defensive teams. It's been the case all year for these 2 squads. See if the Eagles can do something in this try around. Well, Sajal Desai sends it around the net, and actually that's going to go back to Sacred Heart. Katie Keenan almost was able to set up possession. Now Jet Devlin, 3-on-2 forming for post. Bad pass there by Jet Devlin. She let it go, and that's another offsides whistled down. Faceoff's going to be at neutral ice right in front of that Post-University bench. Overall, when you think about these 2 teams, as we've mentioned, it's a 2-1 series lead in the season for the Eagles, but it's a 32-2-2 overall record for the Pioneers. The 2 regular losses coming this year to the Eagles. So, once again, just a record-setting year for Post-University this year. You see the 10 wins and a losing record, but it's not necessarily the case when you think about the expectations, and it's been a fantastic year for them. As there's a shot on goal for Sacred Heart, the rebound opportunity. And Hannah Saunders is able to poke that one away. Boy, a couple of tough chances there. Really the first good chances for Sacred Heart all period long. They stay with possession. Now back towards the blue line. This is Olivia LaRoche. She fires away, but that one got blockered down. Sajal Desai put her body in front of it. It's LaRoche once again at the blue line, sends it across for Poppick, and Poppick fires, but believe it hit a few sticks and then got deflected into the corner. Tough angled shot, never reaches. And the Eagles are finally able to clear the offensive zone. Right back in goes Sacred Heart. Rowan Ringer couldn't handle it cleanly, but the linesman rules it down offsides. 9:49 left to go in this first period. Eagles holding on to a 1-0 lead. Well, never mind. Under 10 timeout, not happening. And now it is. 9:49 left to go in this game. It's a 1-0 Eagles lead. Back here in Shelton, 9:49 left to go in this second period of play. It's the Eagles clinging on to a 1-0 lead, and it's been a really defensive, evenly played second period so far between these two sides. Olivia LaRoche in the neutral zone just trying to find a way past that post defense, and Sacred Heart content to just dump it into the near corner. Boy, it looked like Angeline Pitter got tripped hard into the boards there. No hand raised. We'll play on. Hand does get raised that time. It looked once again like Macy Peterson with her speed forced a possible penalty there. Either that or offsides, but I think someone might be going to the box here. And they will. It's going to be a tripping penalty assessed to Olivia LaRoche. That's a big penalty. That's their first line right defender. So Post will get their first power play opportunity of the game more than halfway through the second period. Give you the special team numbers. Power play this year for Post at 14%. It's ranked 4th in the conference. Penalty kill-wise, it's the 5th best for Sacred Heart at 84%. Good shot on goal opportunity there for Van den Udelaar, easily blocked by Carly Green. Ringer at the far boards. One-time opportunity, misses the net. Shot coming off the stick of Wysocki. Trying to keep it in the offensive zone are the Eagles. A good play by Kate Helgeson to keep it out of there, and Post will have to reset. It's Wysocki dumping it into the far corner. Macy Peterson chasing after it. Actually, that's McCavicus. Couple of Pios, couple of Eagles there. Minute 30, minute 20 left on this power play. Around the boards it goes to the near blue line. Karis Kale keeps it in. Back to Wysocki. Wysocki at this near wing, spins around, now driving towards the net. Leaves it for McCavicus. Back towards the blue line, Karis Kale. Kale has it tipped away by Kate Helgeson. Another good defending play there from Helgeson. Opportunity for a couple more pushes for Post. Ringer leaves it for Wysocki, and Wysocki looked like she was looking towards the net, but ultimately couldn't fire it. She still has it. Drifting around, driving in, looking for a lane, leaves it for her teammate. This shot on goal bounces around up and over Carly Green, but out of the crease. 40 seconds to go. Eagles still have possession. Ringer with it. Leaves it for VDO. Her shot gets deflected into the boards. Katie Keenan, the only player there, and she'll clear. 25 left on the power play. First opportunity for Post. Few shots on goal, but a couple of easy saves for Carly Green, and one last push for the Eagles. Noah Farberman. She fires away. That one kicked away by Green. Loose rebound. Peterson has it. Back to the blue line. Danny Amons. Across. Farberman once again looked like she was trying to send it back to Amons, but now back to even strength. Coming out of the box, Olivia LaRoche. And now the Pios come the other way. They take a shot but miss the net. Eagles clear the defensive zone. Try to get something set up. Danny Amons gets past the defender into the slot. Jody Rose could have handled it cleanly. Another shot attempt, and that one misses the net. Peterson has it. Back to the near corner. Now at the blue line, Sage will decide. Desai, her shot gets deflected into the corner. Casey Van den Udelaar. Shot attempt there. Allie Cohen picks it up. And Cohen just fires it into her offensive zone. A Sacred Heart needs to get a change in. 6:45 left to go in this middle period. Good forecheck there from the Pioneers. Almost first a costly turnover. Actually, they did. Still in the offensive zone. Long shot attempt. Hits a couple of bodies and right into the body of Hannah Saunders. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the fact. Some extracurricular activities, but nothing too much there. Remains a 1-0 game. Face off to the right of Hannah Saunders. It's Timmery Grumman there for the Eagles. Katie Keenan as well. Goes Keenan's way. Puck still loose, but ultimately Sacred Heart going to get possession. Pass into the slot. Wraparound try. But Hannah Saunders got her stick in front of it a couple of times. Over at these near boards. Finally the Eagles able to get it out of their defensive zone, but Kaylee Smith still has possession. Back to Bennett, and Bennett's content just to dump it all the way behind the net of Saunders once again. Just about 6 minutes left in this second period. 1-0 game in favor of the Eagles, but it's been mostly Sacred Heart at even strength. One against the world for Maddie Noonan entering the offensive zone. The first time we've said her name tonight. Moving left to right, it's the Pioneers. At neutral ice, Izzy Chaput just slaps it into the corner. Gets cut off by Danny Amons. And now the Eagles come the other way. Hannah Luckman looking for a lane to pass to. Tries the one-time attempt, but it hit a few bodies. Here's an opportunity for Larson, and she fires right into the body of Carly Green. 5:34 left to go in this second period as Green keeps it at 1-0. Get an entire platoon swap for Thomas O'Malley and the Pioneers. Going to be an offensive zone faceoff. Pat Bingham electing to keep that same line out there as Noonan wins the faceoff. Not able to keep it in the offensive zone are the Eagles. Addie Bowlby sends it into her offensive end of things. Getting tied up by Jet Devlin. Now the Eagles take over. Larson looking to break out, but we're seeing the forecheck pretty heavy from Sacred Heart. They got 3 players in the offensive zone. Jet Devlin carries it past the blue line, but gets tied up, and now it's Peyton Bennett's coming the other way. Addie Bowlby with some open ice in front of her. Bowlby takes the shot, but Karis Kale got her body in front of it. It's one thing that Hannah Saunders has pointed out a lot over the course of this year, just how many block shots her defensemen get, as that was a grade A opportunity. Alyssa Antonakis' shot right into the chest of Saunders. We'll have another whistle with less than 5 minutes to go. Think about Karis Kale, Angeline Pitter, Danny Amons. A lot of these defensemen just so good at blocking shots for post, making Hannah Saunders' life easier. Tie up on the faceoff. No one with possession yet, and the Pios take it. At center ice, the loose puck. Once again, no one really with it, and a smart play from Hannah Saunders just to poke it into that far corner. Sagel to side, trying to clear the zone. Almost had it taken away from her. Had to hit, I believe it was Grayson Limke hard into the boards. No, Sammy Bowlby. Pass into the slot from Sacred Heart. Hit a couple of sticks, never hit the net. Around the boards it goes. Hard hit into the boards. No hands raised from the referees once again. All night long, we've kind of seen the body checking penalties not been there. Goes down the ice for an icing. In the second period, it's been 7 shots on goal in favor of Post University, 4 for Sacred Heart. Although a lot of shots total in the second period. 17 for the Pioneers, 15 for the Eagles. So a bit of a wonky period statistically. Faceoffs have once again been ultra close, 7-6 this period in favor of Post. Make it 8-6 now after that latest defensive zone win. The Eagles have had a lot of trouble in this exact spot this period, breaking things out of their own defensive end. That's likely going to be another icing. No. So there's an opportunity to erase it, and the Eagles take over. Rowan Ringer had it for a quick second. Now Mikavakis trying to retain possession, getting harassed by a couple of Pioneers right alongside the boards, and they take over. Izzy Chaput just tried to tip it forward for McNeil, and McNeil fires it wide. Stays in their offensive zone. Actually remains in their offensive zone. I thought it was going to come out fairly quickly there, but almost a beautiful play from a couple of defensemen. Peyton Bennett sends it around the boards. Not greatly handled by Izzy Chaput there. Eagles almost took over at neutral ice, and finally they do, but it'll be back in their own zone. 3:12 left to go. No goals yet in this period. The lone goal in this game about halfway through the first. The first career goal for Brooke Larson. We highlighted it in the pregame show. We highlighted it in the first period. We'll highlight it again. 2 very defensive-minded teams, as that was a beautifully drawn play, but right into the chest of Hannah Saunders. Shot off the stick of Katie Keenan. Looked like she had a lot of places to shoot at, but Hannah Saunders comes up with the easy save. Eagles win that defensive zone draw. Karis Kale tries to send it around the boards, and Noah Farberman just clears it all the way out. Boy, bad pass there. Peterson has it on her stick. Macy Peterson gets shouldered aside by Olivia LaRoche, and they fall to the ice. Jody Rose driving towards the net as she gets tripped down. Mikavakis just keeps it in the offensive zone. Peterson against LaRoche, and LaRoche sends it around. Now at neutral ice, Karis Kale content just to dump it in. The Eagles are going to have to touch up, but Eagles are too early on it. They're still offsides. Thought the whistle was going to get blown there for a quick second, but instead puck comes out. Now Brooke Larson. A long up-ice pass. That one ill-advised. Goes all the way behind the net of Carly Green, and it'll be an icing with just over 2 minutes left in this period. It's against the final game of the regular season today. It's senior day today. Big congratulations goes out to all the seniors on Post University this year. Sejal Desai, Hannah Luckman, Julia Wysocki, Casey Van Den Udelaar, and Angeline Pitter. Boy, what tremendous years for all 5 of those women. Think about last week, Angeline Pitter broke the single-game record for assists in a game for Post University. Julia Wysocki, the all-time leading goal-getter. Just so many great role players on this team as well. You've seen them come together as a team throughout the course of the year. That one was shot right into the netting, so it'll be another defensive zone faceoff. Got to watch out for the Sacred Heart Pioneers in the first and the last 2 minutes, as they like to say. Dangerous when it matters the most. Remember, back the first time they were here, they almost scored. They had their best opportunities in the first and the last couple of minutes of each period, but ultimately it was Hannah Saunders with a 46-save shutout back on December 6th. Eagles with it, trying to break things out of their defensive zone. Riley Patfield into the offensive end, tries to get around Brianna Morton, and she does. Patfield circling, looking for someone to pass it to, gets tied up in the far corner, ultimately just dumps it off behind the net of Green. 1:21 left to go. Addie Bowlby past the red line, sends it past the blue line, but doesn't carry it with her, and Angeline Pitter will take over. Good saucer pass from Pitter, gets it up and over the stick of a Sacred Heart defenseman. Onsides go the Eagles. Now Wysocki tries to handle it. Puck goes flying up in the air, and the Eagles will retain possession. Back at the blue line was Angeline Pitter. She didn't handle it cleanly, but keeps it in. Less than a minute to go in this period. Pitter once again. Now Amons with a lot of open ice, shoots it, and a beautiful block that time from Kate Helgeson. Even better poke check that time. It was Angeline Pitter who kept it in the offensive end. Now the Eagles transition to their forecheck. Ringer at the left wing, leaves it for Wysocki, and ultimately not the greatest pass. Wysocki had to kick it, and it went out of the zone. Less than 30 seconds to go in the period. Addie Bowlby just chips it forward. Danny Amons and Helgeson will be there to battle for it. Amons comes up. Last push for the Eagles if they want it. Rowan Ringer into the offensive zone. Her shot gets deflected into the corner. About 5 seconds left to go. Sacred Heart content to just kind of keep it in that corner. And that'll do it for the second period here in Shelton. All things said and done, a good second period if you're an Eagles fan. Really a good second period for both sides, but got to be happy with it as Post retains their 1-0 lead heading into the second intermission. Total stats in this game, 12 shots on goal for the Eagles, 14 for Sacred Heart, but a lot of shots total. 41 total shots for the Pioneers, 25 for Post. Both teams 0 for with a woman advantage. 0 for 3 is Sacred Heart, 0 for 1 are the Eagles, and finally the face-off battle, a 21-17 advantage in favor of Post. Most teams, but Post helping out Hannah Saunders a good amount in that factor as well. Interesting here too, Julia Wysocki and Angeline Pitter having a conversation with a few of the referees. So is Paige McNeil for Sacred Heart before they head off into the locker room. Maybe a few things to talk about, but either way, don't go anywhere. We'll see you back here in 15 minutes. It's the Eagles with a 1-0 lead heading into the second intermission.
We're here with our 2025 Baseball Media Day, joined with senior Brennan Holligan for our first of a few interviews with the team. Brennan, you lowered your ERA from 2023 to 24 by almost a full 3 runs, down to a 2.7 last season to this season. And you transitioned more to a starter as well. What do you attribute your success and growth to here at Post from year 1 to year 2?
Yes, sir, of course. And ultimately, I think it was just the work that we put in
as like a whole team, and then ultimately just like making some small adjustments in my routine, implementing some mental training, or as well as hitting the gym and being in the weight room. But ultimately, it was just putting in the hard work, you know.
And then, what did your accolades mean to you personally? Just to go over the ones you got just from last season alone. First team All-Conference, you were the NCBWA All-East Region second team, D2CCA All-East Region second team, ABCA/Rawlings NCAA East All-Region second team. You were on the CACC All-Academic team, the CSC Academic All-District team, and then this season you were NCBWA All-East Region preseason team. What do all those accolades mean to you?
So, I mean, all those are awesome, man. But, like, our team goal is to win a ring and win the World Series. So that's the main goal. But ultimately, man, all those accolades are awesome. I mean, feels good to get recognized for the hard work, and just hoping to repeat that again.
Yeah, and then what was it like for you, talking about winning a ring and stuff, just to be part of a historic season last season, not just for yourself, obviously, with all the accolades you got, but winning the CACC championship for the first time in program history, and then going to the NCAA tournament. What was that whole experience like for you?
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I mean, the players on that team, I mean, I'll know them for the rest of my life. Met some cool brothers on that team, and ultimately it was just awesome, man. I mean, we put the work in, and went to war every week on the field, and it paid off. So it was amazing.
And then you basically have the entire pitching rotation back from last year. You've got Joe Christiana, Jack Martineau, Matt Seaman, and yourself. What do you think the pitching staff can achieve this season after all the success they had last year? And then talk about what it's like being around that trio now that you're going into your second full season together.
Yeah, man, it should be interesting. I think that we can make history with the three of us, the four of us, returning back this year. I think history for sure will be made, or has the potential to be made, and just having them around is awesome. I mean, it's great having mature arms on the staff along with like a mixture of young incoming freshmen. So it should be interesting.
And then lastly, personally, what do you hope to achieve? What are your personal goals this year as a pitcher on the mound? But what are also the team's goals this year and what you think they can achieve?
So, I mean, me personally, I want to reach the World Series and hopefully win the World Series. And along with the team, I believe that that's our goal. But obviously, it's one step at a time. So, yeah, along with that, I mean, I would like to get drafted as well and just reach my full potential.
We're here with pitcher Joe Christiana, who's entering his fifth season with the team. Joe, talk about your emergence as a pitcher, as one of the top pitchers in this rotation over the last few seasons and heading into this year.
I mean, we all start somewhere. So, I mean, freshman year, I didn't get any play, and then sophomore year was kind of where I kind of started. And, everyone knows how our second year, my second year went. But it was really my junior year was when I really started to start, and then that's kind of where it kind of took off from there. So.
And then what was it like being part of a historical moment last year, winning the first ever CACC championship in program history and then getting to the first NCAA regional in program history as well?
I mean, everyone knows what happened the 2 previous years. So, I mean, it really doesn't get better than that. I mean, I have one of my pairs of shoes, I have a little, I have a hole because I got stepped on in the whole celebration. So I'll remember that and I'll keep those for forever.
And then I don't know how aware you are of this, but you're on pace to potentially break multiple program records for most pitching wins, which Nick Arnold set with 22. You're second right now with 18. Mm-hmm. Innings pitched, Brendan Wyman's at 261 in 2/3 innings. You're fourth all time at 199 in 2/3 innings. And then strikeouts were set by your teammate Matt Gorig, who has 191, and you're sitting in third right now at 173. Talk about what it means to you to kind of be among the greatest pitchers in program history.
I mean, for me being here as long as I can, that's just as special as it gets. I mean, I played with Matt for 3-4 years, so that's as special just to be up there with him is. I think that's super special just as it is right there.
And then finally, looking ahead to your final season, presumably, what are your goals for it? How have you prepared for the season? What do you think this team can achieve coming off what was already just a historical season?
I mean, like you said, it's going to be hard to beat, the last few years of the teams we had, but last year was, I couldn't ask for anything more just to win it finally, and going through the last couple of years of getting so close and failing at the last step, but getting to a regional was amazing. I've always talked about it with my dad, and I'm not expecting anything less this year. So
we're here with senior third baseman Justin Rivera. Justin, we talked at the end of last season, at the end of the CACC championship game, when you had that game-winning hit, and you mentioned that moment in particular didn't get too big for you when you got that hit, and you expected when you came to post that you were going to win a conference championship. Now reflecting on the hit almost 9 months today when we're recording this, how memorable was that moment for you and winning the CACC championship now you've had time to process it more?
I mean, it was fun, and the whole break, that's all I thought about, but now it's a new year and ready for the next season, and hopefully we get more big moments like that.
What was it like experiencing the NCAA Regional for the first time as well?
It was crazy. It kind of gave me like a eye awakening of like what like it must feel like for like the pros and big D1s. It was a great experience, and I hope to be back.
And then third base is a very tough position to play, which you obviously know, but you made it look easy last year. Only 2 errors and 87 chances. And your bat speaks for itself. You hit almost 300 with 39 RBIs. But talk about the work that goes into your success on the defensive side of the ball on the field and how you carry that success over into the season.
It's just taking pride in the little things and showing up every day with not just wasting time, there for a reason, and just trying to keep better. And hopefully we can have another year like that where we're leading the conference, doing what we can, doing what we're supposed to do.
And then as one of the upperclassmen, many upperclassmen that we have on this team that was part of the championship winning team last year, what kind of role do you feel that you play with your teammates, being one of those upperclassmen with these newcomers and transfers on the team in hopes of replicating the success from last year and repeating it this year?
I mean, I'm not like a loud guy. I'm just like show up every day, do my work, do what I have to, and hopefully guys can see that that's what we're here for. We're not here to be buddy-buddy. We're here for one reason, and that's to win.
And finally, what are your personal expectations and goals for yourself on the field in 2025, as well as what do you think this team is capable of achieving this year?
Personally, I'm just trying to do whatever I have to do to help my team win, and see whatever I have to do, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And for the team, I feel like we can win it all, and we can go farther than we did last year.
All right, we're closing out our 2025 Baseball Media Day with head coach Ray Skold entering his 6th season with the team. Ray, before we look ahead to 2025, talk a bit about how you've been successful in building this program over the last few years, resulting in now 3 straight North Division titles and the first CACC championship appearance, or 3 championship appearances, and then your first CACC championship last year, and what it was like going to the NCAA Regionals last spring.
Well, I think you built it with people. I think it's really important to bring in good quality people. We've had some really good assistant coaches here over the tenure since I became the head coach. Probably most noticeable is Tim Binkowski, been by my side since 2021 and has really helped us build this thing in a good direction and has been a huge part of the success. And student athletes, just making sure that we're recruiting the right type of kid to come play baseball at Post. Not only a kid that's talented but has great mentality, a guy that's obsessed with practice, a guy that's obsessed with the weight room, obsessed with nutrition, their individual skill development, all the ins and outs that go along with being a great player. A guy that takes care of his business in the classroom. So I think you win with people. And we've had some really good people here that have contributed to the success over my tenure here.
And then between fall practices, the inter-squad scrimmage that you had, the spring practices you've had so far, and your first game just a little over a week and a half away from now, how do you think the team has looked so far from what you've seen, and what have you liked in the early going that's excited you about this team?
I think the thing that's really exciting is the amount of returning pitchers that we have from last year's team. Seaman, Christiana, Holligan, Martineau, to watch those guys progress, and then even some of the guys that didn't pitch a lot for us last year have really made some great jumps and some good strides in the good direction. Guys like C.J. Pierce and Jake Bauman, Eric Gutowski. So I'm really liking the group. I think that would probably be a big strength for us. I mean, we brought in a couple more players on top of some of those returners that we've had last year. So I think when you evaluate exactly what the strength is, that's probably the strength of this team. Also, I'd say the depth. I think that we have quality depth in a lot of positions this year. Even filling out the lineup card for the first weekend has been difficult because we've got so many different options that we can go with at some different positions. So I think that that's a good quality of a competitive team.
And then, like you mentioned, you have a solid mix of returners along with a lot of newcomers and transfers, including foremost used starters in your pitching rotation, which you just mentioned, as well as your starters in the lineup. How valuable is the championship experience that they got from those returners last year? Valuable in the sense of integrating the transfers and newcomers into their roles with the team, and the experiences that those transfers have had at their respective schools, bringing them into this program to help them kind of get integrated into the squad.
It's invaluable experience. You know, I think the biggest thing is having those guys that understand what it takes to win, that you have to work hard at practice. You know, you have to push yourself in the weight room. So that's just the mentality and just adds to our culture that we've had here. I don't necessarily think it's a big plus in the fact that, they've played in the big game before, but just that they understand the process. They understand what you have to do every day if you want to be chasing greatness.
And finally, how do you continue to build off all the success you've had with this program over the last few seasons and the championship last year? And what are your goals and hopes for this team this spring?
Just work ethic. I think just continuing to have just this relentless passion every day about coming here and trying to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I think the guys have really bought into that, and we're all looking forward to playing baseball in 2025.
Head coach Ray Skold entering his 6th season with the team. The baseball team will kick off in their Myrtle Beach tournament down in South Carolina a little over a week from now on February 20th against Franklin Pierce University.
Welcome back into the rinks at the Sports Center of Connecticut here in Shelton. Players taking the ice for the third and most likely final period of play of this 2025 regular season. It's the Eagles with a 1-0 lead entering this third period. It's been a lot of good defensive play throughout the first 2 periods of play. Not a whole lot of stats to talk about throughout this one. Overall in the game, it's only a combined, 26 shots on goal. 14 for Sacred Heart, 12 for Post University. Sacred Heart 0 for 3 on the power play. That's the big story of the game. They're now 0 for their last 18 with a woman advantage. Not to mention, it's a 21-17 face-off advantage for the Eagles. Overall, about as even as you could get in every stat, but the only one that matters is the one on the scoreboard. It's a 1-0 game as we're underway here in the third. Thanks so much for joining us. Alongside Kristen Brown, Jake Haddad, and Grace Glassrud, my name is Max Stapleton. Senior day here at Shelton, and the Eagles hope to congratulate their seniors with a win against Sacred Heart and maybe finish the season with a 3-1 series lead over the second-place Pioneers. But, of course, still 20 more minutes of hockey left to be played before we can decide any of that. As the Eagles try to send it into the offensive end, or really just try to get things going through neutral ice. But the pass doesn't go, and now into the offensive end of their own go the Pioneers. Izzy Chaput gets handled behind the net of Hannah Saunders. Both goalies have been very strong as expected today. One goal came early, and I wasn't even sure if Carly Green was able to see it. Brooke Larson's first career goal about halfway through the first period. Macy Peterson into the offensive zone as she gets around a defenseman into the far corner. Poke checked away, but her teammate picks it up. A fan on the shot. Jody Rose tries to collect, couldn't do so, and now going the other way is Sacred Heart. Nice defensive play. It was Grayson Limke with the puck, and Casey Von Den Oudelaar chasing after her behind her. And eventually the Eagles do clear the zone. It goes all the way back down on net of Carly Green, so no icing. And Sacred Heart will have to reset. Expect to see a lot of pressure early and often from the Pioneers in this third period, trying to even up this game only down by 1. Intercepted at neutral ice by Grayson Limke. Now Anna Tonkas heads into the zone. Her shot on goal actually hit the side of the net that time. Was blocked at first, collected the rebound, and then missed the shot. Goes behind the net of Hannah Saunders. Eagles just swing it around the boards, but it's kept in. Allie Cohen behind the net. Gets bodied into the boards by Brooke Larson. Larson does find McCavicus, and now she takes it out. Just chips it forward. Tristan Curry to chase after it, but getting there first is Brianna Morton. Post trying to go heavy on the forecheck, even though they're getting a change in, and Tristan Curry intercepts that one, takes a shot, and was kicked into the corner by Carly Green. Battle for it here. Goes Sacred Heart's way, now into the near corner. And Van Den Oudelaar wasn't able to pick it up cleanly. Bad turnover there. Across the ice it goes. Now Allie Cohen with a head of steam into the offensive zone. Good play there. Timmery Grom intercepted the pass around the boards. Kept in by Sacred Heart and Karen O'Connell. But the Eagles will have possession. Now they try to set up a breakout. Risky pass there, but it works out for the Eagles. Riley Patfield in the offensive zone. One against the world, and Karen O'Connell takes it away. Kept in the offensive zone. Jet Devlin kicks it forward. She still has it on her stick. The Eagles content to get a change in here as well. Gets poked out of the zone, and Post will have to touch up. Pass left a little too long for Newton that time, but she follows through and forces a turnover into the slot. It goes backhand opportunity. Loose puck, a couple of bodies flying around. I don't know if Carly Green made the save or if that was blocked by a defenseman, but either way, very good heads-up play, but whistled down for offsides. And we have our first whistle of this third period, over 3 minutes gone. So far in this third, not a whole lot to talk about. Actually, rather than that, let's talk about some of the scores elsewhere. Post is firmly locked into 7th place in the Newha. That's where they will finish this year. Doesn't matter what the rest of the games go. So they'll play whoever finishes in second in the first round of the Newha tournament. Right now, that's the Sacred Heart Pioneers, but the game that matters for them is Franklin Pierce, who's right on their tail. Long shot on goal. Somehow got through from Brooke Larson. Looked like there's a bunch of screens in the way. Now we have a whistle. Oh, man, this is the second time I've seen this happen in about 3 weeks where two players get their masks entangled with each other. I've never seen it happen before this year, but in the last 3 weeks, we've seen it twice now here in Shelton. It's pretty rare. Forced a stoppage in the faceoff in the offensive zone. You never know what you're going to see. 16 minutes left. Faceoff win for Sacred Heart. They carry it out. Trying to get into the offensive zone is Izzy Chaput. Couldn't do so. Now the Eagles carry it in. Rowan Ringer looking for a pass into the slot, but it gets cut off. Nice play by Carly Green, the goaltender, to put her stick in front of that one. Less than 16 minutes to go. Sacred Heart trying to break through Hannah Saunders. And a good shot on goal there. It was a trickling puck and a bouncing puck, but Saunders was forced to make the save. The Eagles reset and slow it down in their own end. Karis Kale leaves it for McCavicus, who gets tied up along the near boards. Pat Riley calls for a change. Pat Bingham. Oh, costly turnover there into the offensive zone. Macy Peterson fires on net. Believe Carly Green had to make the save. Jody Rose kept it in the offensive zone. Peterson once again. Puck loose out in front, trying to clear it as Sacred Heart. Kept in, and finally they are able to get it out of there. Good offensive pressure from the Eagles. Sometimes the best defense is having a good offense. Not that time. Into the slot. Boy, what a play by Saunders. And an early whistle from the referee. Boy, Post catches a break there with 15:05 left to go. Saunders made the right play, getting her body in front of the pass. She was trying to fall on the puck. I believe the referee thought she covered it up, but that puck was certainly still loose in the crease. Too quick of a trigger finger there, and Post definitely catches a break. They win the defensive zone faceoff, clear the defensive zone. Sacred Heart will touch up. Not really a whole lot going on that try for Post University, able to just dump it in. Macy Peterson somehow ends up with possession, only temporarily. Now Sacred Heart from their own end. Good turnover force there by Jody Rose. Now Rose has it behind the opposition's net. Battle for it in the far corner. Brianna Morton comes up with it, and the hand is raised. Goalie comes towards the net. We're going to have a penalty coming up. Extra skater on for Sacred Heart as they take a shot, but that one misses the net. It was Brianna Morton. Tristan Curry touches it up. We have the fourth power play of the game coming up for the Pioneers. It's Jody Rose going to the penalty box. Rose called for a cross-checking penalty at 6:40 gone here in this third period. So far in this game, 0 for 3 are Sacred Heart with 5 shots on goal throughout the 3 power plays. They send out that first unit. Ella Holm, Paige McNeil, Izzy Chatput, Savannah Popick in there, and Olivia LaRoche, the lone defenseman. They somehow retain possession in the offensive zone. It goes back to LaRoche at the blue line, who passes it out of the zone, and Sacred Heart will have to touch up. McNeil carries it in. Looks like Holm might have gotten tripped. A good opportunity there, but the shot just went wide off the stick of the leading goal-getter, Izzy Chatput. At the blue line, Savannah Popick leaves it at the near boards for Ella Holm, and Holm driving back, looking for a pass, but the pass got deflected by Brooke Larson. Ringer clears the zone. 30 seconds gone on the man advantage for Sacred Heart. This Post's going to get a change in, bring out their second unit penalty kill. Along these near boards is Ella Holm. She carries it in with a head of steam, runs into the referee. Sajal Desai behind the netting, has it taken away from her. Back out at the blue line with a lot of space. LaRoche fires away. It was blocked down by Sajal Desai. Eagles able to clear the zone halfway through this power play. Boy, Sajal Desai, how many times this year have we mentioned her name? The senior just getting in front of pucks, blocking as many as she can. Shout out Gardner, Massachusetts. Kaylee Smith, tons of speed. Leaves it for Helgeson into the slot. One-time shot, and Macy Peterson got her body in front of it. Good clearance from Selena McCavickis. She sends it all the way into the far corner as the power play trickles down to 30 seconds. About 13 minutes to go in this third period. The Eagles holding on to their 1-0 lead, trying to prevent Sacred Heart from even getting set up as the power play ticks down to 15, and we'll have an icing. That's going to help Post University out on their penalty kill. It's been a tremendous penalty kill all season long. Entering today, it's the third best in the conference at 84.9%. Power play entering today for Sacred Heart at 10.9%. That's sixth best in the New Ha. Only 15 seconds left on it. Face off in the Post offensive zone. One final push for the Pioneers if they could enter the offensive end of things, but Pitter cuts off the pass. It was a nice body check from Danny Amons as well. Into the offensive zone go the Eagles. They take the shot on goal. Jet Devlin with a sneaky shot, and we're back to even strength. Boy, 0 for 4 on the power play is Sacred Heart. 0 for their last 19. Amons, a long pass up the ice and intended for Maddie Noonan. Noonan tipped it forward, but they're going to say she was in front of the red line, so an icing called. Exactly 8 minutes gone in this final period. Otherwise, statistically, these two teams are just very similar teams. They both are defense first. They don't get a lot of shots on goal, but they really prevent a lot of shots on goal. In fact, Sacred Hearts, as a team, they have the second best goals against average in the conference. So it's no surprise here. It's only a 1-0 game entering this third period. You combine their defensive prowess with the 2 netminders we have today. Easily top 3 in the conference. Both by the eye test and statistically. Almost a dangerous turnover force there by the Eagles. But breaking out the other way on the counterattack is Allie Cohen and the Pioneers. Along these near boards, Cohen sends one. Tough angle shot. Saved by Saunders. The rebound is loose, but it's trickled into the near corners. Devlin fights with Addie Bowlby along that near corner. Puck comes back and out of the defensive zone as Anastasia Sloan wasn't able to keep it in. Brooke Larson with possession. Sends it across for Karis Kale. But the breakout doesn't work out as Tim-Marie Grom couldn't handle the pass, and we'll have another icing. St. Michael's and Franklin Pierce have yet to start. That's the only game not underway in the Newha. In the third period, Stonehill with a 1-0 lead over Assumption University. And it's LIU and St. Anselm tied at 2 apiece in the third period. But here, a trickling shot, rebound opportunity, and Hannah Saunders got both of them. Boy, good saves from Hannah Saunders, keeping her concentration on the deflection chance from Sacred Heart. Along the near boards it goes, a tie-up for it and kept in by Casey Von Den Udelaar for the Eagles. Sacred Heart taking it behind their own netting, looking to break out. It's Olivia LaRoche on the far end of things, leaves it for Popik. Now at the near boards, Sydney Antonakis battling with Tim-Marie Grom. Actually, that's Selena Mikavickas she was battling with, and Mikavickas won the battle. Now into the offensive zone she goes. Got tied up, but her teammate recovers it. Sajal Desai past the blue line, tries the shot, got deflected. Loose puck and a hard hit right into the near corner. Julia Wasaki got laid out. No hand raised. Out come the Pioneers. Kate Helgeson carries into the offensive zone, and Sajal Desai gets some revenge. Boy, the physicality in this game has been off the charts. Less than 10 minutes left in this third period. Eagles with a 1-0 lead. Costly turnover, left right in front of Hannah Saunders. Shot on goal for Helgeson, and Saunders covers it up. Boy, dangerous play right into the crease, and that'll take us to the media timeout. 9:50 left in this third period. Saunders standing on her head. It's 1-0 Eagles. It's about as even as it gets as we enter the rocky road to the finish. 9:50 left to go in this third period. It's the Eagles holding on to a 1-0 lead over their crosstown rivals, the Pioneers. You know, it's not official, but I think we can get a trademark on this, the Merritt Parkway matchup, as I'm dubbing it. Thought a lot about that as I was driving on the Merritt today. Pass into the slot, beautiful pass. Mikavickas just couldn't handle it. It was a great defensive play that time, looking for the number, as Sacred Heart does end up clearing the zone. It was Grayson Limke who was able to tie up the stick of Mikavickas. That was almost certainly going to be 2-0. Kate Helgeson carries it out of the zone for Sacred Heart and content just to dump it in. Gets bodied hard by Mikavickas and then bodied again as the Eagles try to get a few changes in. Long pass up the ice, a sneaky pass up the ice, and Wysocki enters the zone. Leaves it out in front, somehow gets through to Carly Green, and she's forced to cover it up. It was definitely intended as a pass from Wysocki, just kind of no-look backhanded it towards the net, and she was off to the bench to change, but Ended up getting through and heads up play from Carly Green to cover it in her own crease. Jody Rose in the faceoff circle for Post University to the left of Carly Green, and they win it. Quick shot off the draw. Hit a few bodies off the stick of Farberman. Jody Rose fires away. Glove down by Carly Green. Boy, these goaltenders today really, really impressive. Looks like there was a few bodies out in front of Green, but she was all over it, able to see it the entire way through. We'll have the same exact face-off matchup. It goes the other way this time. It was Alyssa Antonakis who won it. But a costly turnover. Good shot from Noah Farberman, who might be Captain Clutch this year for Post University. More on that in a moment. Out of the zone goes Sacred Heart. Allie Cohen along the near board, slows it down, sends it into the slot. It's poked into the corner by Saunders. Smart play by her, but Sacred Heart retains possession. Penalty coming up, the 5th power play of the game. If I'm not mistaken, the 3rd time Jody Rose will be going to the box tonight. Well, I was mistaken. It'll be the 2nd time Jody Rose is going to the box tonight. I don't want to overdo it where I'm not mistaken, but it has been somewhat of a common issue for Jody Rose. 5th power play of the game for Sacred Heart University. 0 for 4 so far tonight. The latest one was their best one. Trying to even up the game. They'll have their best opportunity to do it so far. They lose the faceoff, but force a turnover, possibly tie up right in the near corner behind Hannah Saunders. It's their first unit out there. Ella Holm is in the battle, as well as Helgeson. Holm comes away with it, trying to leave it for Paige McNeil, who parks herself right in front of Hannah Saunders. Now in the far corner, finally out into the blue line. A little bit of open space, but LaRoche can't keep it in the offensive zone. That's a big play for the Eagles. About 30 seconds gone on the woman advantage. A hard collision at center ice, all incidental. Wysocki takes over. Past the red line, past the blue line, carries it in herself. While the Eagles go off and get a change, she's just wasting some time. 1 against the world, and that's a pretty good job done by Wysocki as we're down to 1:10 on the woman advantage. Paige McNeil at the near boards, battling with Danny Amons, and Amons gets the better of her there, but it's kept in the offensive zone by Kaylee Smith. Smith tries to fire it into the slot. Pass gets blocked by Karis Kale. Some more time ticks away. The tie-up right behind Hannah Saunders. Kale ends up with the puck. Behind her own net, looking for a lane to clear, and she does, all the way down the ice. Wysocki had a really long shift there, and she's finally able to get off. 33 seconds left on the power play for Sacred Heart, trying to avoid making it 20 in a row with the woman advantage without scoring a goal. Couldn't even get into the offensive zone, that push around. But a nice up-ice pass, and Helgeson carries it in. Kate Helgeson across the slot, and Atonkas shoots it, but she couldn't hit the net. Back towards the blue line. Trickling puck back to Helgeson, all alone in the slot. Cindy Antonakis can't find the net once again. Boy, a couple of grade A opportunities for Antonakis, but nothing to show for it, and we're back at even strength. 0 for 5. Sacred Heart on the power play today, and if you're Pat Bingham, you're saying that's enough. I don't want to give him any more opportunities. It's an icing with 6:22 left to go in the 3rd. Boy, Hannah Saunders, what a day she is having yet again today in net. Her latest example just on that power play. Already has 5 shutouts this year. She's won all kinds of records for Post University this season as she makes another quick save right off the draw. Boy, the reaction time from Saunders off the charts. As it's the final game of the regular season, let's talk about Hannah Saunders and some of the single season stats she leads in. She's playing today, so she's going to be tied for first, actually, with one of our production members, Grace Glassrud, for all times game played as a goalie, single season post history. Goes around the boards. We'll get more of those records later, but it's too good of a moment now. As there's a shot on goal, another tremendous save. Hannah Saunders, take a bow, keeps it at 1-0. Boy, the shot off of Alyssa Antonakis, a beautiful setup, a one-time chance for Sacred Heart. But Saunders getting a bunch of taps on the legs from her teammates, just continuing to stand on her head. The Eagles trying to clear the zone. They can't. Julia Wysocki has it behind her net. Now Mikavicus, and finally the puck does leave the defensive end. Goes all the way back where Sacred Heart will take over. They are content just to send it all the way up the ice. A race for it. Addie Bowlby made it pretty close. Danny Amons couldn't sustain possession. And now a turnover into the offensive zone. Allie Cohen, her teammates trailing her. She leaves it, but not a great pass. It's kept in. Trickling puck right on net. Saunders kicks it into the corner. One-time opportunity. Another save, Saunders. She dives on top of it. This time it's Olivia LaRoche getting denied. And you could see just all of the defensemen giving Hannah Saunders some love taps on the padding. An entire platoon swap here for Pat Bingham and crew. Saunders getting some much-needed water behind the net. The single-season post leader in goals against average, the all-time post leader in save percentage, continuing to have another great day, the junior from Ottawa, Ontario. Along the near boards, it's Paige McNeil battling with Amons, Jody Rose and Ella Holm in there to help their respective teammates. Holm ends up with the puck, but had it taken away by Farberman. Farberman couldn't clear the zone, kept in by Chappett, and that's a much easier save for Hannah Saunders with 5:08 left in the period. Now Saunders, the list just goes on and on. What else? Single season post leader in shutouts, single season post leader in wins. I could literally do this for an all period. It's just unbelievable the year she's having, and kudos to her in her final game of the regular season. Playing in back-to-back games, both these goaltenders are, with a 7 o'clock tip last night and a 1 o'clock puck drop today. Ooh, almost a bad pass there. Eagles do end up clearing the zone. Pioneers try to take over before it gets across neutral ice. Hard battle for it between Farberman and Peyton Bennett. Ends up going into the defensive zone of Sacred Heart. Eagles get a change in, but Jody Rose takes over. Rose has it taken away. Now Savannah Popik has it on her stick. Out of the defensive zone, but right onto the stick of Casey Van Den Udelaar. Now Maddie Noonan with a head of steam. Fires away, but that one blocked. Nice play by Popik. Ooh, fanned on the pass. Noonan takes over. Finds it for her teammate, and Devlin's shot looked like she just got under it. Fired it straight into the netting above the boards. Less than 5 minutes left. 4:20 in the third period. Overall stats in this period. It's a 13-6 shot on goal advantage in favor of Sacred Heart, as well as a 7-9 advantage for Post in this period in the faceoff circle. Make it 8-9 as Sacred Heart wins that one. Clear it all the way down, but Sage Desai takes over. If you're Post, you're typically happy with that, but not that. Allie Cohen almost set up a beautiful deflection. We have another penalty coming up. Van Den Udelaar going to get called for a tripping, and it'll be the 6th power play of the game. Boy, the 12th penalty minute of the game for Post University as a team. It's an area they've really struggled in all year long. And they are gifting Sacred Heart opportunity after opportunity. Credit does go out to the Pioneers. They're getting much more offensive pressure in this third period, playing with a little more step in a little more pep in their step, I should say. I don't want to quite call them desperate, as they are in the second place team in the conference, but definitely a little more motivation entering this third period. Now they have it with another power play. Olivia LaRoche fires, but it got deflected into the far corner. Rowan Ringer tries to pick it up. She clears the defensive zone, still has it on her stick, and fires it down. Popik just plays it along the far boards to her teammate LaRoche. And LaRoche carries it out of the defensive zone. With the power play, it's now McNeil looking for a shot, firing right into the body of Brooke Larson. Nice play by the sophomore defenseman. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Good clearance there as we're down to 1:15 on the power play. 0 for 5 is Sacred Heart today with the woman advantage, trying to prevent it from going to 0 for 6. Boy, risky defensive play there. That was Macy Peterson, aggressive in the offensive zone. Could have been called for a tripping, but no hand raised. Less than a minute on the power play now for Sacred Heart. Here they come through neutral ice. It's Peyton Bennett. To the left wing, looking for someone to pass it to, but no one there. Peterson takes over, tries to fire to the far corner. Now Mikavickas has it. Mikavickas takes the shot. A good save by Carly Green. She stays with it. Rebound is still loose. Penalty coming up. And the whistle is blown. We're going to have a slashing penalty called on Sacred Heart. It'll be a 4-on-4 for 33 seconds. And then the Eagles will have a power play. Boy, and that is just heartbreaking if you're a Sacred Heart fan. You need as many opportunities as you can get. And now with only 2:35 to go, there's only going to be 35 seconds of even strength play after this post-power play coming up. The penalty assessed to Kate Helgeson for cross-checking. Only the second penalty assessed to Sacred Heart today. It's a 4-on-4 for 33 seconds, and Post will have the advantage for a minute 40 or so. Quick shot off the stick of Julia Wysocki. Didn't look like she got all of that one. Made it an easy save for Carly Green. But hey, more time off the clock. Some extracurriculars pretty often tonight. There hasn't been a whole lot of whistles, and that tends to be the case with these defensive games. But each time there has been, it's been a little bit of pushing and shoving. Another face-off win for the Eagles, a stat that they have had the advantage in tonight. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Saunders calling for an icing, and she'll get it with 2:14 left in this third. Start to wonder when Thomas O'Malley decides to pull Carly Green in this game. Only 2:14 left, but obviously down a skater. It'll only be 5-on-5 for the majority of it. Pretty crucial face-off win for Sacred Heart. Let's see if they can get into their offensive zone. Not that time. Intercepted, and they'll have to reset things. Boy, almost a dangerous and a good interception from Julia Wysocki. Post officially on the power play. They'll have it for a minute 22. Down the ice it goes for Sacred Heart. Karis Kale will pick it up for the Eagles. Post trying to secure their third victory of the season against Sacred Heart, and also their third victory in program history against Sacred Heart. To the near side it goes. Selena Mikavickas didn't handle that one cleanly, and the Pioneers are able to clear the defensive end of things. Brooke Larson picks it up. Almost too many women on the ice. Boy, Karis Kale was just able to get off the ice. And a scary play there. Almost gave Sacred Heart the re-advantage. Back in the offensive zone they go. Rowan Ringer tried the shot. It got blocked. Now in the far corner, Paige McNeil turns it over. Ooh, Jody Rose got tripped down to the ice. Whistle gets blown. Looks like we're going to have another penalty coming up. Boy, Sacred Heart shooting themselves in the foot a bit as they will not get back to even strength in this game. It'll be a 5-on-3 for 38 seconds for Post University, and then a 5-on-4 to close it out. Penalty gets assessed to Kaylee Smith. See if the Eagles can put the nail in the coffin here. Tie up along that near corner. Jody Rose is in there for Post University. Is this really your game plan if you're Sacred Heart? Just about a minute left to go, and they're content to waste time, it seems like. Noah Farberman shooting it. It gets deflected, but it goes wide. Back to Brooke Larson, the only goal scorer so far tonight. Leaves it for her teammate across. Back to Larson, looking, firing, and it gets blocked down. Cleared all the way down the ice by Sacred Heart. Some more time ticks off. 40 seconds left to go. Casey Van Den Udelaar through neutralized into the offensive zone she goes. And Eagles content just to slow things down, really not put a lot of pressure on. And they're holding on to the 1-0 lead, now on a 5-on-4. Larson with a quick shot. That one gets blocked. She sends it in a little bit deeper. 15 seconds left to go in the game. All the way back down the ice. Hannah Saunders does the smart thing and stays in net. And for the third time this year, the Eagles are going to go on to beat Sacred Heart. Happy Senior Day to all of the seniors. They celebrate with a win. And they close the season winning 1-0 against their crosstown rivals. Brooke Larson, the lone goal scorer in this game, her first career goal. And what a way to celebrate for Post University. They closed the season with a 3-1 series edge over Sacred Heart, and they very well could end up playing each other next week in the first round of the Newhawk Conference Tournament. You can see them celebrating, and they'll do the handshakes line now. But don't go anywhere. We'll have our post-game report coming up next. It's a 1-0 Eagles victory. What a way to close the season for the Post University Eagles Women's Hockey Club. A record-setting year in so many different facets as a team, a lot of these individuals as a senior class. It was a tremendous year and just a great way to close it out here on home ice in Shelton. A 1-0 victory for Post University on Senior Day. Let's get you the recap. A lot to talk about for such a low-scoring game, and you knew it was going to be low-scoring coming into this one because both of these teams had a very, very defensive mindset. I mean, coming into this game, the total goals against, it was the 5th best in the conference for Post. It was the 2nd best in the conference for Sacred Heart, so that just gives you a good idea. And for whatever reason, this has been a good matchup for the Eagles all year long playing these Pioneers as they finish the season with a 3-1 season series edge. So in this game, the goal scoring got started over in the first period, and that was the only goal scoring of the entire game. The first career goal for Brooke Larson. It was assisted by Karis Kale and Julia Wysocki. Julia Wysocki, by the way, with just another tremendous season as well, record-setting 26 points this year. That tops the conference, that tops the team, puts her all alone up top there, not to mention the most in post-university history. So some pretty impressive numbers from the senior for Argyle, Texas. And how about Brooke Larson getting her first career goal, her fourth point overall on the season, and the sophomore from Highland Ranch, Colorado has another couple of really strong years here at Post University. I'm talking like the season's over. It's not. I just won't be able to call the game next week, so it is for me, and I'm kind of recapping a bit. Overall, a tremendous game. We can't go through this recap without talking about Hannah Saunders. Just what a night she had to cap off a tremendous regular season. She stopped all 27 shots on goal she faced, capping off her season with her 6th shutout of the year. That sets a program record. It leads the conference. It's, all types of statistics this year, all types of tremendous. So we'll be back with more. Brooke Larson will join us, fresh off her first career goal in the 1-0 win against Sacred Heart University. But until then, don't go anywhere. Once again, it was the Eagles 1, Sacred Heart 0. Back in here at the rinks at the Sports Center of Connecticut. 1-0 victory for the Eagles over Sacred Heart University. Still waiting on our second star of the game, Angeline Pitter. Just wanted to update you with a few scores from throughout the Newhawk Conference today. Over in Stonehill, game just closed up. Stonehill with a 1-0 victory over Assumption University. Two teams pretty close to each other ranking-wise. They're in the shootout over in St. A's. Long Island University and St. A's tied at 2-2. Heading into a shootout. And then the game that really matters today, especially for Sacred Heart fans, if you got any of them still listening, it would be Franklin Pierce over in St. Michael's. If St. Michael's somehow, with only 4 wins this year, can find a way to beat Franklin Pierce, that would mean that Franklin Pierce would, or that would mean that Sacred Heart would retain the second overall seed. But otherwise, if Franklin Pierce, or otherwise if St. Michael's wins, well, you get what I'm saying. It's a little bit confusing with all the standings, and they're getting updated in live time and everything else like that. But overall, if you're a Sacred Heart fan, you're rooting for Franklin Pierce to lose that one. They're tied at 0s with 4:13 left in the first period. So we'll be back with just a few moments with our second star of the game, Brooke Larson. Our 3 stars of the game, by the way, it's Hannah Saunders, Brooke Larson, and Karis Kale, 1, 2, and 3. It's a 1-0 Eagles victory over Sacred Heart University. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, Eagles fans, welcome back to our post-game show. I'm joined by Brooke Larson today, the lone goal scorer in today's affair. And Brooke, let's get right into it. Take us back to that first period, your first career goal, the only goal of the game. The goaltender matchup was outstanding today. What went through your head at that moment, and break down the goal for us?
I saw there was a lot of movement on the boards, and our coach has harped on us moving as a kind of like a unit. And then Karis just gave me the puck, and I just skated down a little bit. And I didn't pick a corner or anything, but the top left corner, honestly, I typically shoot low, but this time I was like, I'm going to go high just to try. So
yeah, I noticed that you typically try to look for deflections or shoot low and that type of idea, but, it was beautifully placed. Top left corner, and it almost knocked the water bottle off, which is just an extra type of fun. But, hey, great game overall, and a great game to close out the season today. Third victory of the year against Sacred Heart. You guys had never beaten Sacred Heart before this year, so emotionally, motivationally, what does that mean to close out the season with 3 wins against these guys in such a hard-fought game?
I think senior day definitely played into that, but I think we like to think of it as a team that Sacred Heart's kind of like our rivals, or we just really get going against them. And it just so happened to be today, we tend to play better at home as well, too, and then in front of all the people definitely helped.
Yeah, it was a huge crowd today. And
lots of momentum, too.
Yeah, did it help today?
Oh, yeah, it was so fun. Everyone was here, is packed, and we've never played in here where it's been that packed.
Yeah, I've only been here for a season calling these games. It was the most packed I've seen it this year. It was a tremendous environment. I'm sure it motivated you guys on the court. Last question for you, and it's about these seniors. It's senior day today. Just what has it been like as a sophomore yourself, playing with these guys, learning from them, and also about one of your teammates who's not a senior, but just a tremendous day, a tremendous season, Hannah Saunders, in net as a defenseman.
Love her.
How does that help you out as a defenseman as well?
Oh, she's fantastic. Any second chance, she's going to be there for us. And then also for the seniors, 2 of my roommates, Sage and Casey, it was their senior day, and obviously Ange is our 5th roommate, but I just wanted to do it for the seniors, get them a win, because we've never had a win on senior night, so
wow,
did it for the girls.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations. What a win for you guys, and what a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Brooke Larson, everybody, that was fantastic. So for the rest of us, I'll take the headset if you want.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So for the rest of us here at Post University, want to say thank you so much for joining us today. It's a 1-0 Eagles victory to close off the regular season. They'll be back next week. They won't be here, but on the road. Not sure against either Franklin Pierce or against these very same Sacred Heart Pioneers. But until then, have a great offseason, everybody. Have a good night.